Shalom Aleichem everyone. Hope everyone is doing really well. We just started Yeshiva this week, and I must tell you, it is overwhelming. We have 145 boys in Yeshiva, 54 Shana Aleph, 91 Shana Bet, and I want to share with you a thought that I think as I experience my 24th Shana Aleph here in Mevaseret, something that I think about that has a very tangential connection to the Parsha, but as I meet the boys and I see them on our first day of learning today, kind of how I feel. There is the pasuk here tells us about the mitzvah of hashavas aveda, that you have to return avedos, and if you find an aveda, you're not allowed to turn your head away from it. You have to pick it up, restore it, and the Gemara in the second paragraph of Mevaseret tells us all the halachos of hashavas aveda. But there's a very famous kind of linkage that you find the Gemara describes to us when it comes to the mitzvah of learning Torah. So there is somehow a relationship between learning Torah and this idea of a mitzvah. And the Gemara tells us, it's found in Bava Metzia, it's found other places as well, Maseches Megillah, that if a person says, Yagata, I toiled, I worked very hard, Velo matzasi, and I couldn't find. I did not succeed in my learning. I worked hard and I did not succeed in my learning, Al tamin, do not believe it. Do not believe it. If a person says, Lo Yagati, I did not toil, I did not work, I did not exert myself, Matzasi, I achieved tremendous success, Al tamin. However, if a person says, Yagati, I worked very hard, Umatzasi, and I found, I succeeded, so then tamin, then you can go ahead and believe it. And it's interesting. The Gemara is speaking about the mitzvah of Talmud Torah, of learning Torah, and it refers to success in learning Torah as a mitzvah. Why is it a mitzvah? What's the relationship? So when it comes to learning Torah, when it comes to matters of spirituality, I see this all the time. I see boys, they work and they toil and they struggle, and for a very long time they do not really see success. It's so difficult. A boy whose background in learning is weak, a boy who struggles, it's a challenge. It's hard. It's not easy to learn when you don't have a strong background, when the language is difficult, the Gemaras are not punctuated. Why is this fully relevant to me? It's tough. And you find those boys that sometimes they give up. It's too difficult. I'll learn Navi. I'll learn Mishnah. I'll use an art scroll. And then you have those who are Yagati. And they struggle, and then what happens is, everyone's different, but at some point, the wall breaks down. Umatzasi. What is matzasi? What does a mitzvah mean? A mitzvah is something that is not really yours. You did not really earn. You just found. And what you find is sometimes that after all that toil and the wall breaks down, all of a sudden, I have a mitzvah. I've acquired much more than I ever put in. I might have put in a lot of hours, and I deserve 100, if you will, units of credit for those 100 hours of work that I put in. But once you crack through and you break through, then it's mitzvah, then you're actually going to acquire 200 units of credit, of schar, of Torah, for that 100 units put in. And that's the language of matzasi. It's mitzvah. Is that once you toil properly, you'll find the dividends earned, the return on investment, will actually far exceed the toil you put in. So you have to put in that work. And in the beginning, that work does not always produce immediate results. It's frustrating. It's hard. But then all of a sudden, there's the breakthrough. And once the breakthrough happens, and all of a sudden vistas open up and tremendous achievements are realized. And that's true, I would argue, with all matters of ruchnius, of spirituality. Certainly it's true when it comes to Torah. I see this all the time. I just look at a boy, I'm thinking every year there are dozens of boys like this. Is he going to make it? Is he going to succeed? Is he going to hit that breakthrough moment? And once the breakthrough is hit, wow, all of a sudden, finishing Masechta is far exceeding anything we could have ever dreamed of. And it's like that in davening also. Sometimes we're up against the wall, knocking our heads, not connecting, and then there's the breakthrough. And once we have that breakthrough, all of a sudden, the gates of tefillah open up, and all of a sudden it becomes so much easier to daven. And so it is in many, many challenges of life. And that's perhaps the message of the Metzia when it comes to Limud Torah, is that Yagati, you don't learn without a sense of Siyata Dishmaya. It is not a classic intellectual exercise where you do the work and you see the results. When it comes to Limud Torah, Yagati Umatzasi. And now you have this Metzia, something that you were not necessarily entitled to. That's that sense of Siyata Dishmaya. So I'm going to ask you all to give me a tremendous bracha, is that as we start our new year, as we close out Elul and we move into Chodesh Tishrei, Haba Aleinu L'Tova, and we start with a new, beautiful, beautiful crop of young men, is that we should have the schus of seeing that in all of the hard work that we put in all the things that we do, certainly with our own children and with our Talmidim, in our community, that it should be a real sense of Yegiya, that produces that real sense of Metzia exceeding anything we could have ever dreamed about. Good Shabbos.